Yay. Hello, my workforce kids. For those of you who weren't able to attend our live Zoom session, I am going to have this recording up all week so that way you guys can get the information that you missed for our class. So just as a reminder to open up with, I want to say how proud we all are of you guys for continuing to do such great work while we're all working virtually. And for those of you enrolled in my class, which all of you are, you likely qualify to receive a gift card. So as long as you are up to date in your classes, meaning that you're not missing assignments for one of your teachers, you should qualify for a gift card. If you think that you do, just email me and then I can confirm with your teachers that you're up to date, and then we can get you an electronic gift card. All you'll have to do is electronically sign the paperwork that we submit to the grant people, and you should receive a $25 gift card for your continued participation in the workforce program. So keep up the great work, and please reach out to me if you think you qualify. Even if you're not totally sure, I can help you figure out what assignments you might be missing and work with your teachers to get those done so that we can get you the gift cards that you've earned. Okay? So with that being said, I'm going to go right into today's lesson. Today we're going to talk about how our beliefs and attitudes can affect our decision making and our mindset overall. So here's some little questions that I want you guys to think about. If you could choose one thing in the world to change, what would it be? I know there's a big thing in the world that everybody's thinking that might initially come to mind. But take a minute and think about some other things that you might want to change. If there is one bad habit that you have that you would like to change, give up, what would that be? And is there a superpower that you have always wanted or that comes to mind that you think that you would want? And think about reasons why you might want these things, okay? So just to provide an example from my own personal experience, if I could have any superpower, I think it would be teleportation, because it would be amazing to me to be able to blink and be able to be wherever I needed to be. I think that if I could save that kind of time, it would be amazing. Spend a lot less time on SEPTA, which would just save me a lot of time. But the other reason that comes to mind is because I think about the time that I could have with other people to help them, right? So it could be, if I could teleport, if that were my superpower, poof, I could be there for somebody instantaneously rather than having to spend all this time traveling, right? So that's me thinking about a way that I could use this superpower for a good. So yeah, just kind of think about why the answers that popped into your head came to your mind. What was it about each of these questions and your responses to them that connect with your attitude and the way that you think about the world? So moving on, we have a quote that says, if you change your thoughts, and you can change the world. So what does that mean? Let's dissect it. If we change our thoughts, if we change what's going on in our own head, do we have the ability to change the world? Yes, because we can affect the world around us differently. If we are constantly having negative thoughts in our heads and thinking that we can't do something, well then it makes it so that we kind of can't do it. If we talked about this a few weeks ago. If you have self-confidence, self-efficacy, believe in yourself, and believe in your ability, then you'll be able to do more. And if I can change the thoughts in my head, then I'll believe more in myself, believe that I can do more for the world around me. And that in turn changes the world, because it could just be it changing my little world, the people that I am affecting through my changed thoughts, my changed behavior. But those people that I'm affecting and having a positive influence on, then in turn, they can have a positive influence on those around them, those people around them, until it stretches to everybody in the world. Okay? So here's our little mind chatter activity. So for this, I'm going to put a timer on, and I'd like you to take 1 minute, and you can either write this down with a pen and paper, you can choose to type it out on your Chromebook, just think about it in your head. But I want you to take a minute, and if you can keep track of it, it would be good though. And just go through any thoughts that come to your mind and write them all down. It could be to-dos, it could be like nonsense that pops into your head, whatever you want, okay? Take 1 minute, timer's on. Go ahead and do that, okay? Halfway there. Done. Okay. So the reason that I had you guys do that is that a lot of times when we start a new activity, we get distracted by the things that pop into our heads, right? So it could be the things you have to do today. It could be things that you need to do down the line. It could be just random things that pop into your head if you have something going on in your personal life, whatever. And those things kind of chatter and distract us from what we need to be focusing on. So rather than let them distract you, this exercise is designed so that before you go into a class, before you go into a meeting, what you do is at the very beginning, take a minute. It could be take 5 minutes, doesn't matter. But have a set amount of time that works for you and write down all those things. Just sit with yourself, write down all those things. And what you can then do is divide them up into the to-dos. You can even do this like as you go, just to have my to-dos that I needed to write down and my nonsense that I wrote down. And what you want to do is take the to-dos, put them aside, and that way you have them, you kept track of them so that after the meeting, when you get out, you can say, okay, here's the things that I still have to do after I got my meeting done. And the nonsense that you wrote down, whether it be like a negative thought, just something silly, like something that popped into your head, you don't need that. So it's good, you got it out of the way, got it out of your head so that it's not affecting you during the meeting, but just pop that out, okay? And that's something that you should take with you. It's a useful tool just to help you focus on the positive and direct your focus to what you need to be doing in the moment, rather than I need to get this, and this done, and what am I going to have for dinner, and all that other jazz, okay? So that's our mind chatter. So now we've talked about focus. This is the center of your attraction or your attention. So you'll have teachers say, it's important that you focus during class because that's the set amount of time that they have you, that they should have your utmost focus, right? So let's think about if you are going through life and you are constantly focusing on the negative in life and only seeing the problems and the negative things in life, what might happen? Well, you might start to bring that outside of just yourself and bring it to your interactions with other people. It might decrease your confidence in yourself because say you're looking at yourself and you can only see the negative things about you, you're not going to see all the things that you have to offer to the world. And your self-confidence will go down, your self-efficacy, which means that you're not going to be able to get done as much, right? So a negative way to look at things might be, wow, I have this whole to-do list that I need to get done by Thursday. There's no way I'm going to be able to do it. I'm just not going to be able to do it. And if you focus on only saying, I can't get this done, then yeah, you're not going to be able to get it done. But if you decide to focus on something positive, okay, I have this whole to-do list, but I have 2 days to do it. Now, say it's a whole list, say it's a list of like your assignments. You might be a little behind and it's a list of things you need to get done. So what can you do? Say you have 2 days to work on it. Instead of focusing on, I just feel defeated, I feel negative, I can't get it done, what you can do is look at things positively, okay? I know that I go to a school where my teachers care about me and want me to get my work done. They want to help me succeed. So I'm gonna look at this positively. I'm missing 3 assignments for this class and I have 2 days to get it done. So what do? Start small. It's as simple as that. I take it one step at a time, right? Thinking positively doesn't come in one fell swoop. It's exercise. It's something that you have to do little by little. So if we decide to focus on, okay, I have this simple assignment. This one's pretty easy. I got it, and then you get it done, and you're like, oh wow, great. I feel good that I was able to check this off of my list. That was a positive thing for me. I checked it off. Now I do still have this whole other list of things left, but it's a little bit smaller, a little bit more manageable. And the other thing that you can do to help focus on the positive is to bring positive people into your life to help you. So your teachers are all there to be for you as a positive influence. And we want to be building you up and helping you get things done rather than saying this, and this isn't done. We want to say, okay, this isn't done, but there's ways that we can help you get it done. So the way that that becomes easier is by us, we talked about this last week, being self-advocates, right? So going to your teacher and saying, listen, I opened up this assignment, I just don't know what to do. I have no clue how to get started. I just think I'm not gonna be able to do it. I'm not gonna be able to get it done. Instead of doing that, go to your teacher and say, okay, when I opened this up, I didn't understand it. Is there a way that you can help me? Because refocusing the conversation helps you refocus to be positive and to have more meaningful conversations with people and advance your progress. Okay? All right. Here's a tricky little thing. How many squares do you guys see? So earlier on the call, I got 16, 21, what else do we have written down? 23, 22, 25 from this class, 17. So the answer is actually 30. There's 30 squares. So I'll just go through it. Hopefully you can see the mouse, but so we have the 16, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 16. But when you look at it, there's a little more to it. There's a few more squares in there. So we have this one big one, that's 17. And then we can look at this being broken down into 4 squares of 4. So we got 18, 19, 20, 21. Then we have this square in the middle, 22. Then we have squares of 3. So we have 1, 2, 3 by 1, 2, 3. So it's all a matter of how you look at it, right? Initially, you might have seen 16 squares or 17. There's actually twice as many as that. How often in life do we let our initial glance at something be how we judge? So you might look at a person or a situation and see that that person, that's the way they are and that's all there is to them. And I don't like, working with them on this. They're not a good team member, blah, blah. And that's how I see it. But what you have to remember is that also in life, people are constantly changing. Situations are constantly changing. So maybe at one point in time, that person was the 16 squares and that was all there was to it. But maybe not. Maybe there is more to that person. Maybe they have things that have happened to them that make them the way they are, or things have happened to you to make you perceive them that way. But we don't want to let, especially if we're judging people negatively and seeing only the negative in people, we don't want to let that be our one and done judgment, right? So it's important if you're having if somebody is like constantly bringing you down and going out of their way to be hurtful to you or doing something bad to you or that you're uncomfortable with, obviously you don't want to keep engaging with that person and keep interacting with them. But in the situations where maybe it's just your initial judgment might have been a little bit short-sighted, or your initial judgment was judgmental, like you were harder on them than you normally would be. Maybe you were having a bad day and got really annoyed by that person, or maybe they were having a bad day and weren't the nicest to you. Then you want to be able to come back and reevaluate and say, all right, let's look at this again. Okay, so that's the point of that exercise. All right, so now we have our attitude. Attitude is the way that you mentally look at the world and the way that you react to it. So attitudes can be broken down into many different facets. But for our purposes today, we'll talk about optimism. So optimists expect the best from situations, and pessimists are known to expect the worst from a situation. There's benefits of being both because you can see different things. But if you are working on a team with somebody, do you think that you're more likely to want to work with somebody who is seeing the good in situations and seeing if there is a problem, not just saying, oh, there's a problem, we can't get it done? Or do you want to see the person who says, all right, like we've identified this problem, I think that we could solve it this way, or is there a way we could do this to solve the problem? Is there a way we could do this? That's what an optimist does, is that they will, even when faced with something that might seem negative, they can try to focus on turning it into a positive. So even though you encountered this problem in your work, an optimist can say, all right, we're not going to let this stop us. We're going to figure out a way to go around it and maybe to learn from it as well. So Winston Churchill says, a pessimist sees the difficulty in every opportunity. An optimist sees the opportunity in every difficulty. That's a good quote. So rather than just focusing on the things that, like feeling stuck and feeling like you can't get things done and that, the difficulties are too overwhelming to you, what you can do is see the opportunity in that. So, all right, yeah, this is really hard. but I have an opportunity to problem solve. I have an opportunity to work with my teammates and ensure that we're able to move past this because I believe we can get it done. I'm an optimist. So that's kind of how attitude can come into play with all of this. And, you know, you guys know attitude. So we talk about you can have your nonverbal communication of your attitude. So if I'm like rolling my eyes at you or looking really bored or whatever, that can cause people to have a negative perception of my attitude, even though they don't know what's going on. Like, I'm not actually bored. I just put my hand like this for a time. But that can be perceived as me having an attitude of being disinterested or wanting to show that I don't really respect you, right? So we want to be mindful of demonstrating a positive attitude, not just in our mindset, but also the way that we interact with other people. And you'll find, especially on the virtual calls, like people really are looking, because we don't have the added benefit of being in the same room with you, people are really looking for you to demonstrate your interest by like showing on the camera or contributing to the chat, whatever, just kind of engaging at a heightened level, because you don't get the benefit of people's presence in the same room as you. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, so assignment. Just so you know, the kids who did go on the Zoom call today got out of this assignment. So if there's another Zoom call, it might be beneficial to just do that. You don't have to do the written assignment. Okay, so this is due May 13th at 5 p.m. May 13th is Wednesday. So you have a whole week to do it. We kept it short. So number 1, would you rather have a pessimist or an optimist on your team in the workplace? So we went over those definitions, but check back through the slides if you need information on it, and just kind of think about, and if you can argue either one. So yeah, just give it some thought. Did you find the mind chatter activity helped you? Why or why not? In at least 3 sentences, 3 full sentences, properly written, okay? Provide advice you would offer to a friend who is struggling to stay positive during the quarantine. So, full disclosure, I would love if I could use your submissions for this question number 3 as part of our virtual service project for this week. If you submit this assignment and do not want your response to be featured on social media or elsewhere, just let me know in the email. But I think this would be really helpful because people love to hear from you guys, and you guys have so much to offer to other people in terms of service. Other side note, if anybody has a virtual service project in mind that they would like help with through school, would love to get some more service projects on the calendar before the end of the school year. So please, 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 like, keep me posted, and I'd love to work with you on one. So let me know. And number 4, your last question for homework. In at least 2 sentences, choose one of the quotes in the previous slides. So it could be that Winston Churchill, it could be that quote at the beginning, one of the quotes, and just explain what you think it means. So dissect it a little bit for me, okay? So we will have an upcoming assignment. It's not a test, but kind of. Nah, it's an assignment because it'll be similar to the other ones, but it's a big assignment. It's worth 60 points, and it's going to be covering everything that we've done for this quarter so far. So that will be empowerment, motivation, self-advocacy, and the slides we did today on our outlook and decision making and group work. So with that being said, I'll have more details about this upcoming assignment worth 60 points in the next week or so, and I'll give you guys a review sheet to help you out with it, but I just want it to be on your radar that it's coming up. And if you have any questions about it, let me know, but I'll be communicating about it. Just wanted to add it to your little to-do list, add some chatter here. All right. So I believe that is all I have to offer you guys today. If anybody has any questions about how they're doing in class, there are a few of you who are missing assignments for me. Please just reach out to me and I'll give you a list of the missing assignments. If you want to go through them together, just email me. We can like set up a Zoom and we can just like sit and do them together. I'm totally fine doing that, but I want to make sure you guys get caught up because it's easy to get caught up in my class. And if there's anything that we can do to help you, please let me know. We are continuing to give out, like I said, incentives and supportive services electronically. So anything that you need, please email me and I'll get in touch with you. Okay? All right. Have a good week. See ya.